I love Fatal Frame. You love Fatal Frame. We all love Fatal Frame. And so, to keep the content flowing, I'm starting a new series where we look at facts related to the characters and even the games themselves. But to kick things off, we can't go past the original girl herself, Hinasaki Miku. So, without further ado, here are 40 facts related to our favourite, ghost photographer. 1. Miku was born in 1969. In the first game, she is 17 years old. This makes her 19 in Fatal Frame 3 and 37 in Fatal Frame 5, although she looks much younger in that game for reasons we'll go into later. 2. The kanji used for her first name, Miku, can also be read as Shinku, which means crimson red. This is the same theme colour she has kept over the years, and was chosen specifically because it looks like blood on screen. 3. The kanji for her last name, Hinasaki, means a young bird or chick, and bloom. However, there's a hidden pun in her name and a reason the game creators gave her that name. Saki can also mean to tear, and in the game, the rope curse literally tears people apart. Hina-saki. It represents how this young girl will be torn apart. 4. Originally, Miku's outfit was going to be entirely dark, but this made her hard to see in the already dark game, so they switched to more white so she would stand out. Then they added her theme colour for that little more pop. 5. Another design that was ultimately tossed out featured Miku in a Taisho Roman style. This outfit would have had a long skirt and been more indigo in colour, with some red innerwear and laces. When the game was first being created, the exact time period wasn't set for the present events, so this outfit was for when they were thinking it might be set further back in time, like the Taisho era. But when they finally decided on the 1980s, it was tossed out. 6. Speaking of her design, Miku's choker is important for several reasons. 1. Shibata wanted her to have a matching accessory with her brother. 2. The creators wanted her to have something for players to notice during close-ups. And 3. To subconsciously remind people of the rope curse. 7. Miku as a character wasn't actually created until quite late in the game's development. Shibata reportedly saw the mansion quite clearly, but for a while couldn't settle on who would be exploring it. Eventually, he came up with an outline, and Hasegawa Jin, a member of the CG team, got to work creating her image from that. 8. Initially, Shibata wanted Miku to be somewhat petite, so she wouldn't look like an action game protagonist. He also wanted a special emphasis on her eyes. This was to both convey her sixth sense and let people get an understanding of who she was, simply by looking at her eyes. He also wanted her hair tied up and asymmetrical, and for her to look slightly younger than her actual age. This would be related to her trauma with losing her mother when young. 9. Miku's hair clip was also going to have a larger role in the story, being passed down by her mother and being symbolic of their sixth sense, but ultimately it was cut due to time. 10. Miku is a descendant of Munakata Yae, who you may better remember as the twin sister who got away in Fatal Frame 2. Technically, she's Yae's great-granddaughter, with Miku's great-grandfather being Munakata Ryozo, the young folklorist from that same game. 11. Miku's father, Masato, passed away when she was young, leaving her mother to raise her and her brother Mafuyu alone. However, her mother also passed away after suffering adverse effects from a camera obscura, leaving Mafuyu to care for Miku thereafter. 12. Miku first enters the Himuro mansion on October 3rd, 1986. The reason for this time period is simply that the director didn't want cell phones to be involved, as they would detract from the isolated horror. Miku then spends the next few days there, finally escaping on October 6th. 13. Miku's model was actually changed for Western versions of the first game's release. This was to make her more appealing to a Western audience. Her hair color changed slightly, her skin went from almost ghostly pale to more alive looking, she's taller and curvier, and her outfit was adjusted as well, most noticeably removing the ribbon from the front of her shirt. 14. Miku has 3 bonus costumes in the Japanese release of Fatal Frame 1. Despite changing her default look for the Western release, these same costumes, based on her original look, were kept as bonus outfits for the Western games as well. The Xbox version of the game then added another 4 outfits on top of that. 15. Miku has appeared in a few games outside the Fatal Frame franchise over the years. She made an appearance in Monster Rancher 4 in 2003, the Monster Farm Pop cell phone game in 2005, and Super Swing Golf on the Wii in 2006. 16. Miku is the first character who speaks in the series, stating, "I wonder how long it's been since my brother and I began to see things other people can't see," at the very start of Fatal Frame 1. 17. On July 5th, 2021, Patchy Slot Zero, a Fatal Frame slot machine, was released in Japan. For those hoping for a remake of the first game, cries of "not like this" were heard the world over. Despite being a slot machine, it's a basic retelling of the first game and even has a few new scenes and ghosts in it. Miku also got a slight visual upgrade, but mostly remains unchanged. 18. In Japanese, every iteration of Miku has been voiced by the same actress, Wakusawa Rika. She has also voiced characters such as Shaoran's sister in Cardcaptor Sakura, Rei in Pokemon, and Eliza Thomas in Before Green Gables. In English, however, Miku has been voiced by a different actress in each game she has appeared in. Numiko Vance in 1, Kim My Guest in 3, and an unknown actress in 5. 19. In late 2019, Koei Tecmo ran a Fatal Frame themed cafe in Tokyo for a month. One of the items was the Miku and Mahuyu's Sweet and White drink set. This was a strawberry flavoured dessert and a Calpis drink that both came with a strip of black to resemble their chokers. All yours for just 1,100 yen. 20. Shortly after the events of the first game, Miku is taken in by her brother's close friend, Asol Yu. Yu made a promise to Mafuyu to look after her should anything happen to him, and because Mafuyu chose to remain in the Himuro mansion, Yu kept his word and gave her a room in his house. This means that Miku is, in a way, being taken care of by a descendant of the man whose camera killed her mother. 21. It appears that after finishing high school, Miku starts work as Kurosawa Rei's assistant. Rei, a photographer, and Yu's fiancé, also lives with her, and the two become incredibly close. It would appear that despite all the shenanigans with the camera obscura at the Himuro mansion, Miku isn't letting her issues with cameras keep her from getting paid. 22. In fact, according to Shibata, 2 years of living like a normal girl after the Himuro mansion incident has made Miku a little brighter and cheerier than before. She's getting used to her job and returning to a normal life before, well, things hit the fan again. 23. On September 7th, 1988, just shy of 2 years after Miku first stepped foot in the Himuro mansion, she visits the now abandoned Kuze Shrine with Rei. It's the beginning of yet another horrific adventure with ghosts, curses, and Dr. Asol's seemingly never-ending cameras that he left all around the place. 24. In Fatal Frame 3, Miku retains a similar style from the first game, but being that 2 years have passed, her outfit has been changed a little. Her outfit is a little more mature, with her ribbon gone and the white shirt now open to display the red shirt underneath. Her famous choker remains. 25. Miku's keywords for the third game, according to Shibata, were Japanese style, slightly grown-up cuteness, and big brother. This was because, ultimately, she hadn't changed that much as a character. 26. She ended up being a part of the third game because she's Shibata's favourite character. Being that she has a strong sixth sense and is handy with a camera, she was a no-brainer to include as one of the main protagonists of the game. 27. By Fatal Frame 3, Miku's hobby is collecting Japanese-style accessories. This is why her bedroom is full of them, and why her outfit still retains that Japanese aesthetic. 28. Although most of the other tattoos in the game manifest as dark blue, Miku remains true to her theme colour, and her tattoo appears as dark red instead. 29. In Fatal Frame 3, Miku has a pet cat by the name of Ruri. Exact ownership of the cat remains up for debate, however, as the developers stated that Ruri was Day's cat on the official website, while the official guide states the cat was given to Miku to help keep her heart open after Mafuyu disappeared. Considering that both their parents had died long before Mafuyu went missing, this is a massive continuity error, so it doesn't really make much sense. Either way, we're told Miku still named the cat, with Ruri coming from lapis lazuli, thanks to the cat's bright blue eyes. Ruri also spends a lot of time in Miku's room, so it seems they get along quite well either way. 30. While in the Manor of Sleep, it manifests for Miku as the Himuro Mansion, as that's the location where she lost her brother. And unfortunately for everyone who has eyes and ears, we later find out that while there, she conceives a child with Mafuyu's spirit. Just why? 31. Interestingly, Miku runs faster in this game compared to the first. Apparently, lots of people complained about her speed in the first game, so they made everyone faster this time around, with Shibata remarking that she's a small girl, so maybe she moves a little too fast now. 32. By the time of Fatal Frame 5, we learn that Miyu, one of the protagonists, is Miku's daughter. She's looking for her mother, who has apparently been missing for a while. We later learn that shortly after the events of 3, Miku quit her job, moved into the house of an old woman she knew, and then gave birth to Miyu. When Miyu was 3, however, Miku disappeared. The reason for this is that giving birth to a shadowborn, basically the child of a dead person, greatly reduces the mother's lifespan. She was literally dying, and so left to join Mafuyu on the other side, having heard the stories of ghost marriage taking place on Mount Hikami. 33. Miku's design for Fatal Frame 5 is a mix of her first 2 appearances. The ribbon from Fatal Frame 1 returns, and the blouse is also similar to that first game, while the skirt retains the look of Fatal Frame 3. 34. Because Miku spent much of the last 15 or so years in a casket on Mount Hikami, she didn't physically age inside. When Miyu finally finds her, Miku is barely older than when we last saw her in Fatal Frame 3. Being that she disappeared when Miyu was 3 and Miku herself was 20 when Miyu was born, that would make her physically around 23 years old, although she's actually 37 by this point. 35. Thanks to later games, we know the canon endings for Miku in Fatal Frame 1 and 3. However, being that Fatal Frame 5 was the last game in the series so far, we don't know which of her two endings is canon. In one, Miku finally passes over, leaving Miyu by herself. In the other, she remains with Miyu, both knowing that she doesn't have much longer to live either way. The outcome isn't really great, regardless of which is canon. Giving birth to Miyu took the majority of Miku's life force, and soon, she will die. 36. Fatal Frame 5 marks the first time that Miku appears in a mainline game, but isn't playable. As such, no bonus costumes for her this time around. 37. Although Miku is the first character we ever get to hear in the Fatal Frame series, she is technically the second one we get to play. The honor goes to her beloved brother Mafuyu, as the first character we ever get to play. 38. As of making this video, a Nendoroid of Miku is coming soon. This features her with her classic Fatal Frame 1 look, and retails for around 7,200 yen. It also comes with, of course, a camera obscura. 39. In Japanese, Miku refers to herself as the neutral watashi, and when it comes to those older than her, she addresses them with the suffix san. This lets people know that she's polite and well-mannered and respectful of her elders. 40. And finally, although Miku's height is never officially given to us anywhere, we are told that her daughter Miyu is 155 centimeters. Being that we can see Miku is taller than her daughter, we can assume she's somewhere around 160 centimeters or so. And that is 40 facts about Hinasaki Miku, arguably the main protagonist of the entire Fatal Frame series. But what did you guys think of this one? Are there any other characters or games you'd like me to explore? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.